Usually it's, me and Kev kind of hanging out, but it's good to have some numbers. Obviously for us, exciting season ahead for sure. Kids have worked their tails off. They always do. I think what's different about this group maybe is the veteran leadership now that a bunch of these guys have played for a number of years, and they're going to be the ones out there. Now they're leading the next group. They're making the checks. They're not waiting on somebody else to do it. So from that point, I think that, we're in a really good position to have a successful season, and that's all it means. The work's still got to be done. It's, 18 days or 17 or 18 training camp practices ahead of us, and we are dialed in, ready to go. But it's got to be, each and every day has got to be game day for us, and to put it together, because like I said, all it's done is put us in position to have a good season. So with that, any questions you guys have, I'll be happy to answer them. Obviously, taking over the special teams role this year has been a freaking blessing. Honored that Des, put me in that spot. Also maintaining the outside linebackers at the same time. You'd have to use the jaws of life to get them away from me. I love them kids, and been in it with unique situation of being able to coach an entire room of kids I recruited. So that's kind of a unique deal. It's been years in the making, but feel really good about that group. Obviously, really excited about the special teams, getting to coach 80 of them. And with that, any questions you guys have?
How challenging, and is it not as impossible as it might seem from the outside looking in? Just talk about that dual situation.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I think the number one thing is you got to rely on having really good help. And I was able to hire, Coach Des allowed me to hire a special teams assistant, Aaron Swans, who does a really good job for us, and an outside backer, GA, Ben Mouton, who was the Southside defense coordinator the past couple of years. So I feel really good about the help in those rooms. So I try to coach them like I'm coaching the players. And, it's kind of, morbid, but the graphic or the explanation I tell them, I said, hey, if I don't get out of bed one day, it should run. Does that make sense? You can handle the outside backers, and you've got the special teams. So I feel really good and about the help I have there, and being in lockstep with those two. I think there's definitely a balance that's got to be there. But I was able to watch Matt Powledge do it 2018 and 2019, which is why I think Des felt good about letting me do it or asking me to do it, because I've seen it, I've been around it. We've had some really good special teams coordinators here, really good, and all a little bit different, all a little bit unique in their own way, but great for me to have learned from. And the outside backers at this point, it's kind of like, it's been a work in progress, but this thing should run itself over there. Those guys are, you talk about a guy like Cam's older now. We're talking about year 4. A really good group in there. So it is a lot, but it's fun and it's a blessing. And, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
How beneficial is it to have on both positions that veteran foundational leadership for you working in both roles?
It's enormous, man. It's enormous because in any good team, you want there to be player leadership. You want some player accountability, and we have that. I think, you talk about obviously outside backers, with Cam kind of stepping into that leadership role a little bit. And then special teams wise, you got, Kenny's been here since the year of the flood. So it's good to have a veteran kicker, somebody that's been in that room. Carter, our snapper, does a really good job. He's been here a while now. And we do have a new punter in here, which we're really excited about. 2 new punters, matter of fact. But it's always good to have that in the room where the expectation is set. And not just the specialists, but the core team guys, a Dalen Cambry, a Jake St. Andre, Terrence Williams, guys that are like, they can set the tone from day one, from drill one, in the meeting room, on the field. Those guys are great, man.
How do you replace a player like Kendra Gant?
So, Kendre was a freaky dude, period. He's long, athletic. He ran into more plays, not knowing what he was doing than you can shake a stick at. He was off script quite a bit, if I'm being honest, but he made a bunch of plays. How do you replace him? We got a kid in here we are really excited about, Jaden Duggar. I don't know how familiar you guys are with him, but he came in from Georgetown. He's originally from Pittsburgh. Came in here at about, 216 on his OV. He showed me a picture of the scale this morning. He's at 241. So he's 6'5" with 35.5-inch arms. He weighs 241 pounds. He's high school, college safety. So that's how you replace Kendrick Gant in a nutshell. But Duggar's been great. Excited about him. He's one of the guys I cannot wait to see in training camp. He didn't go home for they had this little break. He stayed here, got extra film every day, been lifting, running every day. Great veteran presence in the room as well, because he also is a fourth-year college player coming from Georgetown. So really excited about Duggar and what he can do. It's in that position that Gant played is kind of a hybrid outside backer where there's equal parts coverage in pass rush and setting an edge. And I think Jaden's got a lot of toughness to him, and that's not an issue. He's got all the physical tools you could ever dream of. So it's going to be fun to watch him play.
You said you have a couple of punters that you're really excited about. Can you tell me what has you so excited about them?
Unique. Nathan Torney is coming in from Southern Illinois. He's an Australian kid, older guy. Still got 2 years to play for us. I feel like he was exactly what we needed at exactly the right time. Obviously, with Thomas Leo eligibility expiring, needed a punter. We did not have one on the roster we felt great about, so we had to go shopping. And through some research and connections, we were able to find Nate. He's versatile. What I like about Nate, first of all, he's very mature. He's 25 years old, I believe. But he can move the pocket. He can punt from within the pocket. And he's very he's been in the fire. I wanted somebody with game experience, and he's got a bunch of that. He's played for a while at Southern Illinois. The other punter is local Braxton Gilbo, coming back home. Southside guy, was at Monroe for a number of years. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have met Braxton, but he's got quads on him now. You're gonna see him. He looks like one big muscle. But he's got a leg, and we're excited about what he can do. He's very athletic, strong leg, versatile, can punt, can kick off, can be a field goal guy. So we feel really good about where we are there. We've upped the level of competition at that position enormously with those two, because they're going to go head to head.
The kickoff. What's the competition there? You got to replace Thomas.
Yeah, so I think Kenny's a guy that has always been able to do it, has done it before for us in games, has that versatility if need be. And then the other guy, Logan Klotz, would be one that we're going to see if he can do it. He's every training camp, he's kind of teased us a little bit. He's got a great leg. He's the guy that you would love to see do it, but he's going to have to prove it at training camp here for 20 practices. I'm looking for Logan is consistency and reliability, not just flashing, because he's got the leg for it, ain't no question. And if Kenny beats him out, or we're comfortable with Kenny doing both, then Kenny will do both. Kenny's easy going as it is. So Kenny's an NFL leg, obviously. We all know that. So, but be it field goals or kickoffs, you know what you're going to get from Kenny, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good for the Cajuns. So those are the two that are involved in that. Gilbo's going to get some work there too, see what that looks like. But excited to see that play out, to see if Klotz can nail down that job, or Gilbo can steal it, or if it's going to be Kenny. But we've got options.
Coach, when you look at the team defensively from an experience standpoint, how much of that helps, especially with you guys having a new defensive coordinator? You might not be changing much scheme-wise, but how much does that help, having those guys where it's not necessarily installed when you come in for fall camp, but you're just refreshing them and they're able to go out and play?
I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun as coaches, man. It's a lot of fun as coaches because, you walk into that room, you would light up with a smile just getting to look at those guys before a meeting starts. The intent, the accountability, the poise, these guys are serious about it. It starts with a guy like Casey Osai, man. Casey's the one that starts it, and he has for a number of years. But now we've got guys surrounding him that are also have played a bunch of football at each level. So, if you're a safety and all of a sudden they motion to a stack, they know, hey, we got to do something here. They can't just stand there and be mutes. So I think that you got veteran players that now they're craving feedback, they're craving information. They know what the level of detail we're looking for. And, you just watch our summer OTAs, watch them operate. They've done an unbelievable job learning Coach Salgado's system. Coach Salgado's been unbelievable in that room. The level of detail that he brings every day. If you had a soundboard of Coach Salgado, the one thing you hear him say a million times, and it's music to my ears, is black and white, no gray. Black and white, no gray. And the kids love it. We love it as coaches. Because then you can hold people accountable. If there's gray, then it's hard to hold guys accountable. But these guys, they're soaking up the coaching. They love it. We're all excited about it. But, in terms of the players, man, those guys, it's like I said, it's a lot of fun as coaches when you got a veteran group where you can make a change and it's not, you know what I mean? Those guys can handle it.
What about the return guys? Are there like leaders, or is that how up in the air is that going?
You know, we've got some guys. Obviously, Zylan Perry did a heck of a job on kickoff return last year. We feel really good about what Zylan can do. I think as a program, you've got certain players like Zylan that you make a conscious effort to get their ball in the hands, or the ball in their hands, if that makes sense. So, you know, he's a guy, if there's an extra possession, get it to Zylan, see what can happen. So he's going to be, you know, right now, you know, kind of leading the pack in that kick return conversation, but we've got a number of guys that can do it. You know, Rob Williams is one that's really good at it. You know, kind of list goes on there. Punt return, you know, you got the benefit of having a guy come back like Jake Bernard that's a smart, reliable, tough, instinctive player as you can find, and we feel really good about Jake back there. But again, building some depth behind Jake because we got a lot of talent on this roster. So just finding there might be a guy that maybe did it in high school. We're going to find out. You know, we're going to get back there first couple of days, and a lot of guys are going to be working back there. Jalen Clark's a guy I want to see return punts because Jalen's freaky. And so, you know, there's going to be some competition, but, you know, we have good competition and a number of guys that can do it. It's just a matter of who does it best.